we're back. It's Kaylin. This is Full Purpose and Heart. And on this channel, I talk about all of the things homeschooling for our 3 kids on our side of the mountain. This particular video is going to be my 7th graders' curriculum choices. And I know from personal research experiences that the older our kids get, the less abundant the resources are when it comes to finding unique resources for our kids. Things that have been created or made by other fellow homeschool moms or just all of the things in general are a lot harder to come by the older our kids get. So I do have a bit of a stack here. It's just kind of a conglomeration of a whole bunch of stuff that I've put together for him. And like many other 7th graders, it is what it is. It's not very colorful and exciting and fun, but I'm trying my best to try to keep it fun too. So anyway, I don't know how long this video is going to go. I'll try to not go too long, but hopefully you'll find something good in here that I'm using that you'll want to look into deeper for yourself. I think you may be surprised with some of the things I've picked. So let's go ahead and get started. The way I'm going to organize this video is going to be the way that we flow our school day. So you can kind of see up here, I have it written down as to how our school day is going to flow. It's going to be very much the same as it was last year. The first part of our school day is going to be what we called morning work last year. This year we're calling it our jump start because one of my subscribers had wrote a comment that says we do it too and we call it jump start, and I loved it so much that I'm going to steal it. So this year we're having our jump start and we're going to start our day with a few things that the kids can kind of do on their own to get their day started. And then we have family school. So I'll show you some of the things that I have added since I filmed my family school video that I can now show you. And then we'll talk about his grade level work. So without further ado, our jump start is going to start. I always have my TV set up here, kind of off the screen is our TV, and that's where I put up our morning message slides. And these are just slides that I found on Teachers Pay Teachers. Just search, you could probably even do a Google search for morning slides. I think they're probably on Etsy. Find the ones that you like, and then of course you could build your own on either PowerPoint or Canva or whatever your computer medium might be. But I just write on there, I prep it at the beginning of the week or the end of the week, depending on when I'm prepping, what I want the kids to do in the morning. And I will just, it's kind of a bit of a loop schedule. Some days we do one thing, some days we do others. So I'll just show you everything that we have, but just know that he's not going to do all of these activities every single morning. He will do some, and then the next day he'll do something different and that sort of thing, okay? So to start, one thing that he will do every day is going to be his mindset morning work. This is kind of similar to bell work in the public school, where every day there is a starter question that then they do. And it should only take 3 to 5 minutes with this. This is a Teachers Pay Teachers resource. I just downloaded it. I printed off the first 20 weeks, I believe. How many did I do? 11 weeks maybe? I did the first 11 weeks, which should get me through the first quarter of our studies. So where do you find this, you may ask? I will try to remember to put a link in the description box below, but if I don't, look up on Teachers Pay Teachers, Kristen's Cadoodle. Okay? Look that up and see if you can find it. If not, I will really try to remember. I haven't been great at doing that because I'm a one-man band over here I have to, it takes a lot of time. Okay, so that's this. So he starts with this, and this will be something that he does every day. The next thing that I will have out on the morning meeting slide is for the kids to check their assignment trackers. This year, my 7th grader has a blank assignment tracker. It doesn't have anything on it. And I am going to admit right now, stay tuned and follow along, like and subscribe and hit the bell on my video so that you can follow along to see if this is actually going to work. But my goal is that I want him to get into the habit of filling out his weekly tracker on Mondays by himself. So I will open it up and I'll do the first weeks with him, of course, because I want to train him how to do it. So I've done the first one for him, and I just kind of filled out all the stuff. I loved this, the goals this week, and I'm really going to try to encourage him what are you going to do this week besides, beat the video game that you've been playing or make a new scratch? Like, he's very into video games, as all teenagers are. So I really want to try and encourage him, like, okay, let's make some goals of something that you're actually going to accomplish and finish this week. So I loved that little section of this planner. I spoke about this planner in one of my previous videos, so this is a repeat, but this is something that I got on Amazon. I just typed in student planner, but I'm not going to recommend that you get this particular one. I would have even just maybe made it by myself, except this one is dated and I wanted it dated. And if I had made it myself, I didn't want to go through the process of like putting the dates on it. But the reason I don't like it is this is my own binding. I ordered this product twice on Amazon. The first time they sent it to me, the binding, the coil was so smashed from the packaging that I couldn't open the book. So I returned it and they sent me another one the next day. Same problem. The coil binding was so smashed, I couldn't open it. You may not have that problem. Go ahead and order this. It comes in like pink and purple and then this teal color. And then I just love that it's dated. It has the boxes. And it's academic, so it's an academic planner, so it starts in August and then goes through June instead of January. So anyway, we're gonna try this and see how it goes, and I'll try to teach him. Now, we are gonna try this out. So that is another thing that I'm actually gonna write it on their morning meeting slide. Check your planner. What do you have to do today? On Mondays, it will say, fill out your planner. What are you doing today? Because I really wanna try and instill some planning, independence, stuff like that. So that's another thing that will happen in the mornings. He also has, this one is a book called My Year of Art. He's a very adamant art student. He loves art. Anything that he can do to art anything, he will love. So this is kind of just like a daily art journal. And I'll just have him go to the next page and fill it out. So I found this on this actually came as a bundle that I ordered a while ago, and it was an art bundle that I had gotten, and this came with it. I think it actually might be an Usborne publication, or maybe it's actually on Amazon. They're not called Usborne anymore. What are they called now? Paper something? Anyway, whatever they're called now. So A Year of Art, that's what I got. Again, this will be something now, only my 7th grader has this particular book. So I will actually just put this out on his desk on the days that I want to do it. And it'll be called Journal up on the morning thing, because each of my kids kind of have a different fun daily journal that they'll do for that. So that's that. Then we have our vocabulary. This year, we're going to be doing Wordle-wise, Wordly-wise 3000 in place of a spelling curriculum. I think that it will kind of marry together and turn into good spelling practice while we learn additional vocabulary words, because we're going to do it very much the same as we did spelling, in the sense that at the beginning of the week, we will have our list of words. I have the list of words written up here on this board, so we'll play a variety of games and do all kinds of stuff with that. And then we will do what was called our spelling crafts will now be called our vocabulary crafts. And we'll do a craft one day a week where it's seasonally themed or thematically themed based on what we're studying or anything like that. So I got book 3. All of my kids are doing book 3. I am completely uneducated in the ways of Wordle-wise. So I just got everybody the same book. Is this a little bit easier, so to speak? Will there be a ton of words that he already knows? Of course, but there will be words that he doesn't know, and it'll be a good spelling opportunity for him. So the goal is to get through 1 week or a week, 1 week every week. I don't know how it's going to go, but that's the plan. Okay, so that's vocabulary. And then another looping activity is going to be the creative writing notebook that I got. This is from The Good and the Beautiful. And it's colorful. Hello, do you know me? I love color. And it just has like a variety of prompts that you can get your kids. Some of it's poetry, some of it's like a little bit of an art study. I feel like I just literally showed you that color. Describe the scene. See, here's like a little art study situation. So anyway, it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. I also have, and I didn't pull it out, but I also have just like a flip chart to write silly stories where, it's a whole bunch of different subjects and actions and whatever that then the kids have to tell a story based on whatever you flip to. So that's kind of a fun, we'll do a creative writing is what it comes down to. Okay. The last thing that will be there is their, what are these called? Flashcards. So I've got a bunch of flashcards for my 7th grader, and these are just 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. Did I put 10s in there? 10s, even though that's an easier one to memorize. But anyway, so I will set a timer and my kids will do flashcards, just root memorization. We are not great at our flashcards. We have not been great at any kind of root memorization. So we have that. And then to go along with our geography unit this year, I have these geography cards that came with The Good and the Beautiful. They were a suggestion that went with like the level 7 language arts. I think it's 5, 6, and 7. So I got one, and I actually got one for each of my kids so that they can learn. It has the oceans and the continents, and then it has the states. And then it also, I did put North America in here because North America is going to be the first continent that we start with, but we won't be getting to that until probably October or so. But my goal is to get all of the 50 states at least put together. So we do have some flashcards that the kids will do as well. Okay, that concludes, for the most part, morning work. At least it has everything that I have here in my pile. I may have a few other things. Okay, then we have family school, and I talked a lot about our family school in my family school video. Things like Mail Monday, science, character studies, and poetry, and reading, and all of those things are going to be in our family studies. But we are doing geography this year. So I wanted to show this really quick. I showed it on my Instagram, or it showed up on my Instagram picture, and someone was like, what is this? Show me this. So this is the workbook that I created to go along with the actual textbook. I showed that textbook in my previous video. So if you don't know, then scroll back and you can hear and learn about that. But this is what I made along with a couple of other activities that will go along with it. But when it comes to having a portfolio, I like to have my stuff kind of like all together as opposed to a bunch of loose pages. And as a 7th grader, I did make this for all of my 3 children, but my 2nd grader's expectation will be wildly different. So I made a bunch of, and these are things that I learned how to do this over the years of my public school teaching career, and I just kind of modified it for my own kids now so that they can learn how to read nonfiction texts. So I call these reading guides. I even labeled them up on the top so I could see what it is that I'm referring to in the textbook. But we learned the 5 themes of geography. So we have vocabulary as the first part of the worksheet. Then this is like a reading comprehension section. And I will actually go through and read it with my kids, so it's not like an independent assignment necessarily. And then this goes with that. And then at the very bottom, it's a summary of okay, what did we read? What did we talk about? Let's briefly summarize that. So I have a variety of reading guides. I did put these little end of chapter reviews kind of a situation in all of them with KWL charts. And I did try to do vocabulary in a bunch of different ways, so it's just a random chart. Okay, another thing I put in here are Cornell Notes. Cornell Notes are so 2010 probably, 8, 9, 10, but Cornell Notes was brand new when I was teaching public school, and the district was really trying to get us to teach our kids how to take Cornell Notes. And since then, I have actually enjoyed making my notes, and whether it's through the sermon at church or whatever, I like to set it up through Cornell Notes. I think it's really organized. So I'm going to teach my kids Cornell Notes this year, my 7th graders specifically. The other ones are just kind of going to come along. So I printed off this Cornell Note kind of spread layout, whatever. And then I wrote the questions in there so that as we study it, then I'll be like, okay, let's learn how to take notes for that. So that's new. We're going to do a little haiku poem for Earth when we finish that one up. And then I actually do have flat books and a lap book. We're going to do lap books for landforms. I have a few science experiments that we're going to do when we do our landforms section. So anyway, I'm just showing you you can put something together like this for your kids is what I'm trying to show you. Like it's not anything, it takes practice, it does, but I can encourage you that like with a little bit of practice that over time you do get better. And I would encourage you to just, search on the Google pictures and just, what are they called? Graphic organizers. And it'll like pull up a whole bunch, or just type in whatever subject you're doing and then put the word worksheets or PDFs at the end of it, and a bunch of them will come up, which will kind of spark your mind like, okay, how do I want my kids to organize this information? Do I want to do it in a lap book? Do I want to do an art craft? Do I want to do a flap book? Do I want to do a spinny dial? Like Pinterest has got so much stuff. Teachers Pay Teachers has a bunch of stuff, and sometimes just searching Google Images will help spark your imagination into like, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. One thing that's really cool that I found is called one-pagers. I don't know how long they've been around, but they weren't around when I was teaching public school. But essentially, it's one giant graphic organizer. And as you teach the subject, you can do it for anything: reading, math, science, English, whatever you want it to be. And then the kids create kind of a poster, if you will, of that. So we're going to talk about energy resources. And as I go through the text with my kids, there are 4 main energy resources. So I'll have them fill this in. And then we can talk about what type of mechanics are energized by that sort of resource. Does that make sense? Right? So anyway, that's kind of an example of that. Here's another, this is a cultures one-pager. So we're going to talk about what is culture and how are people affected by that. So we'll write culture in here, and then it's like traditions or holidays or dress or language or whatever, right? So we just talk about that. So that's kind of fun. Here's another, just an example of a graphic organizer. I'm spending a lot of time showing you this, but okay, moving on. That took a ton of time. I'm so sorry. Let's get on to language arts. So here is the big shocking reveal. Are you ready? I am almost nervous. I almost didn't even want to like share that we picked this because I've been so like, I want to love it, but I never do. Yes. Do you recognize it? Of course you do. The Good and the Beautiful, level 7. I've got the course book. I have the course companion guide, and the readers is what I got for him. So why did I choose the Good and the Beautiful? It's hard is all I have to say, right? Like picking curriculum is really hard. And I mulled over so many options. And what it came down to that eliminated a lot of the options I was looking at was I didn't want him on a virtual classroom again. I was deeply looking into Institute's IEW, Institute of Excellent Writing, I think it is. Anyway, I was really looking at their style and stylist, but what it came down to between this and that is I said, I don't want to have my son on a screen for all of his subjects. And so I picked this because in all of my debated research, because if you're new, a little background, I have wanted to love the Good and the Beautiful for years. It was a very, very new company when I started teaching my kids, when my son, who's now 7th grade, when he was in kindergarten, I think, it was very, very new. And I wanted to love it, and their science is so beautiful, and I just have wanted to, but every time I try to sink my soul into a curriculum, I find that I don't use it as much as I thought that I would, and I end up just building my own curriculum off of it. Well, when it came down to picking his 7th grade curriculum, I just said, you know what? I can't do BJU Press because it's so teacher driven. Like I literally had to sit with him and read through the lesson every day. And we kind of got off track with that. I didn't want to do Institute for Excellence in Writing, IEW, because I didn't want to have the 45-minute videos. And I didn't want to do a BJU Press distance learning because I didn't want to have the videos. I looked at Abeka, that was kind of a little sluggish. I looked at Christian Light Education. I looked at a lot. I looked at everything, I feel like. And I mulled over it and I prayed. And when it came down to it, I just said, we're going to try. We're going to try this, and I'm going to have him do it independently, and then I'll follow up behind it. A few things I did like. I liked the memorization. I want him to memorize and kind of practice and exercise his brain in that way. So they do have poetry exercises, and they have states and capital memorization exercises. So I really did like that. And I liked that they integrated the classic literature. So this is like, you know, some old book called Lost. What is the first one called? That's the chapter's called Lost in the Mind. The Blind Brother is the first book. And they really integrate that curriculum as a part of it. I am going to saddle up Fix-It Grammar to this. So we will go through this. This is the Robin Hood curriculum. I have tried Fix-It Grammar, the nose tree with him 2 years in a row. Both times, I think we made it 4 weeks max, and that's being generous. So it's a new year, and it's a new invigoration and new goals. We're going to do this. And I do love, where's this one? I do love how they have updated this, that you now rewrite the text actually in the book. Because when in the old version book that I had, you had to have like a second notebook that then you would copy it over. So I just love that it's already here, and we'll just go page by page and do Fix-It Grammar alongside the Good and the Beautiful. So that'll be the bulk of his language arts, but we are gonna saddle up and do a couple of other things. So I do have this literature guide for Tom Sawyer's Island. I'm still debating. I got one more week before we officially start school, but I might go over and purchase the Confessions of a Homeschooler. Has a lap book for this that is very reading comprehension driven, but I think that it could benefit my son at this point because he has gotten kind of in a rut in his reading that he only is interested in A, audiobooks, and B, one specific audiobook series is all he listens to. He'll read a lot of graphic novels, but as far as like literature goes, I really want to expand his mind a little bit more and have him practicing in more literature than just audiobooks and graphic novels. So that's why I've gotten this. And I think that Confessions of a Homeschooler will help in adding that reading comprehension level in a very cute way. Let's be honest. Okay, so we have that. And then another book that I'm gonna get him to read are the Wing Feather series. I bought all 4 of them. And the internet told me that somebody's 12-year-old loved it. And I said, great, because I need my 12-year-old to love it. So I got him these, and we'll dive into that. Now, I will say that I'm going to have to assign, excuse me, I dropped it. I'm going to have to assign the reading to him. He will not just pick up the book and read it. We will go to the library every week, and he will get a stack, you know, yay high of graphic novels and read them until midnight every night. But again, I'm really trying to get him into something that's not a graphic novel. So this is going to be, and I'm going to have to figure that out because I don't know how I'm going to assign it to him, but I do assign him 30 minutes of reading a day, and that usually turns into a graphic novel. So if you have an idea of how you assign your children to read something that's not whatever, then put that in the comments below. Help a sister out, because I have not found an answer yet. So I can't get that back in there. Okay. What else do I want to show you? So the last little things that I'm going to show you, it's in this big pile over here, but I did get a couple of games for him, and I'm really excited about a lot of them. So this game are the Exit Game series, and that's an escape room series. And I got a bunch of them. I think I got like 6 of them. And they come in, it's a strategy game. So the level that I got him was 2, and we did 2 level 2, down here you can see the 3 dots. We did 2 of the level 2, which is 2 dots, for over the summer. So we do it together as a family, me, my husband, and my 12-year-old, and sometimes my daughter will come in and she'll help us too. But anyway, so we're gonna try to bump up. What I will say, if you've never played this game before, do start with one of the lower ones, even though you may be like really good at exit games. You do what you wanna do. But my recommendation was, we started with a level 3, and we had to ask the help, like get the help cards for every single puzzle, because we didn't know the mechanics of the game. Now that we've played the game and we kind of know how some of these puzzles come together and just the dynamics and the mechanics of the game makers, it's it sometimes is a little bit easier because your brain starts to think the way that the puzzle could potentially come together. Whereas if you don't even know, you're like, oh, I would have never even considered to look in this specific way to try to find the answer. So start low, learn the mechanics, and then you can build up. So I have, I think, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these level 3, and I even got a level 4, but to be fair, that's mostly for my husband and I. Okay, another book that I got game I got, and this was his choice, was Memoir 44. And we have not officially studied World War II yet. This is an entirely World War II based game, strategy game, and the concept of the game is to actually do the actual battle. And so you put your armies where they were stationed during the battle, and then you move them as you wish. But anyway, he really wanted this game. We've played it once. It's kind of fun, but it is only a 2-player game. So that's kind of a fun one. And then the last one that I'll show you here is another one of these exit things, but I'm so excited. Okay, I got an advent calendar, and no, I am not going to be doing this in the month of December for Advent, because this is in no way Christian Christmas, birth of Christ centered, as Christmas should be. So it will not be an Advent to Christmas, but I am going to do it. I'm thinking I'm going to do it in the month of October for, like, kind of fallish, Halloweenish. I don't know. But it does have like snow and it is Christmas themed, but we're not going to do it for Christmas. I'll do it in October, but it is all puzzle based, and every day you do a new puzzle and you have to try to escape the Christmas workshop. The Christmas workshop has never been busier. For more than 2 months, you've been working hard, so everything on the 24th will be ready on time. Then you hear the doors locked. You feel very alone. It's clear you need to find Santa, but you have to find your way out. Okay, it is Christmas related, but I will not be doing it for the month of December because I really do try to make December a little bit more Christian, and this is not that. So we're going to do it in a different month. And who knows, maybe I'll save it to like February or something, just to like spice up some of those really rugged months of winter where we're kind of dragging our feet. So I think that's everything. I'm kind of looking at my pile. That's everything that I brought out here, at least. Is it? Yeah. Okay. That's everything I brought out here. Hopefully you found something that was valuable. Leave me a comment below if there's something that you're using or something that you're interested in, or any questions or something that I need to know that will be helpful, because I'm always interested in knowing what it is that is out there, because there is not a lot of content when it comes to 7th grade stuff. So thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.